Howdy, how y'all doing? This is my 2008 Nissan Xterra with the 4-liter V6 hooked up to a 5-speed automatic transmission with overdrive. SE trim level, top of the line, fellas. This is my daily driver, and I've had it for about 7-8 months now, and I've been slacking on making videos, especially about this car. You haven't seen it much on the channel, and today I figured we'll do an in-depth review. I'll give y'all my opinion on the car, then we'll go for a test drive. Hope y'all enjoy the video. All right, enough with that Dukes of Hazzard stuff. We'll do something else funny later, but let's walk around the exterior of my 08 Xterra, and we will start with the front end. So this is the second generation, what started in 05 and went to 2015, right before they discontinued the Nissan Xterra. So the first generation went from 2000 to 2004 because they introduced it in the year 2000, and they both were very big boxes, but you know, they were very utilitarian, and they got the job done, fellas. So the reason why I'm saying that is because if you have seen the Nissan Xterra, it is not a very pleasant looking vehicle. I mean, I'm actually a fan of the second generation. It took me a little while to warm up to it, but she's a clean unit, guys. But the first generation, I could not have one. It is a disgusting tiny box. At least this one has a little bit of style to it. So we will start with the front end. And one big thing when they released this in 05 was they were trying to go for a more aerodynamic look. And because, like I said, they were both big boxes. And the front bumper, I mean, as you can see, it's a little bit aged because it's an 08. It's over 13 years old. It's had the sun and all the harsh stuff while driving, but it's got some aerodynamics to it. I mean, they're not great, but you know, they're there. It's not just a box. And you got a nice little intake spot for the bottom half of the radiator, then up top as well. You even have a trans cooler as well, and this is a 2-wheel drive. Doesn't even have a hitch receiver on it. And being an SE trim level, one of the top of the line trims, you get standard fog lights. And one big deterrent when I first got this car, and I'm so glad it's fixed now because it completely changed the vehicle. The standard plastic headlights, you know, were baked and caked and just fogged over. When you had the crappy little halogen light on, you could barely even notice that it was on. And I was gonna buy some OEM covers to replace these, but those were $180, and I was really considering it. But I was watching some videos, and you had to take the entire front bumper off, and to get to 2 little bolts on the side of the headlight that you couldn't get to under the hood or with the bumper off, you had to take the fender off. So no. So we bought a little restoration kit off Amazon. It was like 25 bucks or something, and it worked great. I mean, they look brand new. I did this like 3 months ago, and it completely transformed my Xterra. And we had to ditch the halogen lights because those were, I mean, they were all right when I cleaned it up, but not a fan of the yellow. So I got the same LED lights that are $50 off Amazon. I forgot the name of the company, but they were the same lights that I have on my 1995 pickup truck, Mean Green. And so that's pretty much going to cover the front end. As you can see, y'all can look up where I live and all that good stuff. As you can see, I live in Texas, and go ahead and look that up if you want. I don't care. Not that I'm sponsored, because you see how tiny my channel is. But I will give a little shout out to this dealership, Howdy Honda in Austin, Texas. They are a fantastic dealership. My mom has bought her last 2 Honda Accords from there. When I mean by bought, leased. But they have been very nice, and we weren't even specifically looking at that dealership. They just happened to get this Xterra in, and we had to snag it up because it was a pretty good deal. And we'll talk about the pricing later on it, but let's move over to the side. All right, so moving over to the side of the Xterra, continuing those nice aerodynamics. I really like how they actually brought the fender wells out where the wheel well is. It looks nice instead of it just being straight, smooth all the way down. But you can see those aerodynamics. Oh yeah, for this big old beast. It's got a good look to it, guys. I'm sorry, you really are gonna have to mind the wind. We are on top of a hill, and thank you, wind, for picking up. So it's gonna sound great on the mic. Got the good old stars and stripes right there. You got this nice little plastic insert along the doors. Nice mirrors. I put my blind spot guys on there. Cheap little $15 mirrors on Amazon. Really nice. Help me to when I'm backing up, to see my rear wheels, to know where I'm parking my car. And we'll get to the roof rack a little bit later. And you got these nice beefy side steps to help you get into this two-wheel drive vehicle that you can just sleep into by yourself. But I guess it's kind of nice for when you want to get to the roof rack. They don't build them like this now, fellas, because this, keep in mind, this is still an SUV, but it's on a light duty truck chassis. This is a SUV on a Frontier, which is Nissan's like Ford Ranger, Toyota Tacoma. I'm just saying that because SUVs now are pretty much, they've moved to being more like cars, which is fine, but I kind of like the truck feel of this. The reason why I'm saying that and open the door is I love the solidness of the sound when you close this door. You got those mud flaps, like I said, and I'll do a demonstration in a little bit. This is actually pretty handy. I've used it a few times. The side step that helps you get to the top, and you can see I got my sticker on the window back there. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, but I figured I'd just do it because why the heck not? So I'm just gonna put my right foot right here and then use my left hand to grab onto the railing. And wow, I'm up here. And I'll bring y'all up here and talk about the roof rack. So the roof rack is actually pretty functional and nice. It's got some nice little stickers and decals. These are original, and I mean, the plastic's kind of faded, but the stickers are still in pretty good shape. Nissan on the front and Xterra on both sides. So I'm just going to use this side step, and I'm up here. So there's little markings here telling you stuff. It's pretty much telling you to not put more than 150 pounds on this roof rack, which I haven't done it yet, but I'm probably going to put my kayak on here and strap it down, of course. Don't want it flying off into yonder over in the sun over there. So yeah, and then so it's not only a roof rack, and I actually like the front having this little storage thing. It's pretty handy, and as you can see, those aerodynamics, I don't know what they're doing here. That's not helping, but sure. This is pretty nice. It's not lockable, but it's a little spot to store stuff that you don't want in the cabin. It's really called a wet storage spot for, like, I use it for when I go kayaking and my shoes are drenched, and you put it in here, and there's little spots on the side to where, you know, little air vents so it doesn't get all stinky in there. But I always keep my jumper cables in here just in case I need them, but they're pretty handy, and these struts actually aren't worn out because I'm guessing this hasn't been used as much. And you just, oops, there you go. Good job, Nissan. One last thing before we move to the hatch. I can't believe I waited this long to do it. Any vehicle I get now, it is the first instant mod I will do, and it's actually not even that much. I got my windows tinted. So in Texas, the legal tinting in the front for the driver and passenger is 25%. So when you put 10 on, it gets a little bit darker apparently than the percentage you're choosing to get. So this is 30% in the front, and apparently darkens to almost 25. So I mean, it's all right. I mean, you can still see it, but it's certainly better than being. This was a complete fishbowl, see-through glass, and I hate that. And then the rest of the cabin, after you leave the front and go to the back, all your other windows can be as dark as you want. So I did 5% limo, and you cannot see in whatsoever, and that's nice, fellas. A guy doesn't have to worry about what's happening in his cabin. Don't worry about it, all right? So we'll move to the hatch now, and one of the first stickers I put on this car was my YouTube. I was going to put it on my pickup truck out in the country, but I figured since I daily drive this, might as well put it on this. So I got 3 stickers, one on each side window and then one on the rear. And then, you know, you got your little rebel guy going on here. And so moving on to the back, as you can see, you cannot see in, and I'm okay with that. When I open the hatch, you'll see why this is here. I'm sure if you know anything about Nissan Xterras, you'll know the kind of little Easter egg that's there that's actually pretty handy. So you got your little Xterra badge, SE top of the line trim. The only thing that was above this was the Pro 4X, which, you know, that's their off-road version with skid plates and four-wheel drive. But I'm actually fine with this being a 2-wheel drive. My pickup truck had the Z71 package. I barely even used the 4-wheel drive because I daily drove it on the pavement. It was a pavement princess. So I'm fine with this being 2-wheel drive. It gives you a little bit more of those MPGs. Something stupid, but might as well throw it in. This guy was busted, and you could see the light, so like $8 on Amazon. Ordered 2 new of these rear tail light covers. Wish I would have got LEDs. They're still nasty yellow, but it is what it is. So this side step is functional, but this guy, I don't think I want to put all of my weight on that. I'm gonna break it. And the only little damage on my mud flap is this guy right here. That's nice, don't worry about it. So the only other video I made that y'all have really seen that is dedicated for the Xterra on my channel is I did a stupid modification video that actually blew up, and I don't even know how, because I wasn't even caring about the video. But the main reason, I did a few other things, but my lift gate, the back hatch, the shock absorbers were blown out to where it wouldn't drop on you, but it would like pick up and just stay where it was at. So that was pretty annoying. So now, ever since I fixed it, it opens up really nice. Oh yeah. So we got some new shock absorbers in here. I think they're like $25 or something, real cheap, worth the mod. And now that I open the hatch, you can see it's a first aid kit, and it's pretty handy. I haven't opened it. It's still how it came from the factory, all the plastic stuff in there. And then let's move on to the trunk. All right, so moving on to the back hatch, put the Eagles in the second row. Get out of here. But the nice thing about this tent is I forget how dark it actually is, because in here, I mean, it's certainly the light is way less. The most blinding part is the windshield because there's no tent, but you can still see fine in here. So the cargo space with the second row still up. This is 33 feet of usable space, and I have some of the accessories under this umbrella. There's lots of tie down spots, and there's accessory stuff you could buy to actually mount some stuff in here. It's pretty cool. And as you can see right here, opening this up, there's a nice little storage spot under here to where you can put some stuff. And I had all these parts in my pickup truck. It's a bunch of sockets and wrenches and all that good stuff, but thankfully I've never had to use that, and let's hope we keep it that way. Knock on plastic. And the only thing that kind of cringes me about this car, but I mean, it is what it is, I didn't really do any of this to it, is the back is pretty scuffed up. The plastic is pretty scuffed, not gonna lie, guys. Yeah. The only thing I know I did kind of help out now was I put a jack back here, being a dummy, and I didn't really anchor it down or nothing. So as soon as I was driving out of the neighborhood, came slamming when I went like 50 miles an hour, and yeah, there's a little hole in the plastic now. You can't see that, but it's fine. And there's nice little storage cubby spots. This one is the bigger one here. There's 12 volt, and I keep my speaker over here. You'll be surprised. It fits perfectly in here, but you'll be surprised how many times I've actually needed a Bluetooth speaker, and it's been there for me. And the only thing I don't like about these shock absorbers, and I'm not gonna let it do it because I've done it a few times, and oh my gosh, I don't know how my back glass doesn't bust. This sucker is strong. and when I let it close itself, I have to hold it because I don't know how my back glass doesn't bust. It's actually crazy. One funny thing I've noticed about this Nissan, it's on all of my windows, and even here, they love putting the serial number everywhere around this car. It's so funny. So I will do a demonstration now of putting up the second row, and then that allows you 65 feet of usable storage. All right, I already put down the bigger side, but it's very simple and easy. So on the seat where your buttocks goes, there's 2 straps, one on this side and one on that double seater side over there. You just pull that up, seat easily just comes up. Then there's a little strap on the side by the seat belt, and you pull that, and then there's a nice little click, and you just put the seat belt behind the backrest, and you push the seat down, and now there is way more storage, and I'll show y'all. All right, opening this back door. Here's another funny little spot where the serial number is for the car, except it's upside down, so you have to, oh, now we're reading it right. Yeah, okay, that's fine. This dang wind. Okay, that's great. Scuffed up the paint, that's fine. So now, like I said, you have 65 cubic feet of usable space. And I know it's not picking up on camera, but it's very dark back here, and it's nice. So yeah, I can pretty much put almost anything I want in here besides typical stuff that would go in like a pickup bed. And it's, the good thing is that the ceilings are, the roof is high enough in this to where not only can it be long, but it can be pretty tall as well and wide. So yes. One last thing before moving into the interior, because I can't believe I forgot to talk about it, is the wheels and the tires this Xterra is riding on. And this was something I had to do right away because the tires when I bought this were a little sketch. We knew we were gonna have to get some new ones. So we were rocking, at least they had the same wear of tread and same brand. The 2 front tires were, and the back tires were different brands. So the fronts had the same amount of wear, but you could tell I'm pretty sure they were the original tires because they were very dry rotted. I mean, they still had some tread, but it was not good. In the back, I believe the back rear right side, completely almost bald. Not very dry rotted though. I don't know, were they doing lots of open diff burnouts or peeling out? Hopefully my tranny doesn't go out soon now that I mentioned that. Anyways, those are gone now. I only drove on them with with the car like that for about a week and a half or so. We got some 265 65R17s, Yokohama Geolander all-terrain tires. These tires actually look a little bit more beefier than the all-terrains I put on my pickup truck. Except the tires on my truck are 275, not 265. But these have been really great tires, and I've been good. I've gotten these tires already balanced at discount once, and it's about to roll over again for me to do it a second time. But these tires are going to last me a long time. And this being the SE, it has the more fancy wheels. Instead of being 16-inch, more basic looking wheels, it's 17-inch. Ooh, we're pimping, guys. And surprisingly, being a 2-wheel drive, I mean, it is a heavy SUV. It's 6 lug, not 5. And you got the tiny little disc brakes in the front and the rear, but at least it's 4-wheel disc brakes, so that's nice. Now we can jump into that interior. Entering the driver's cockpit of the Xterra, the door panel. But one thing I will say before I get into the full interior is again, like I said at the beginning of this video, the whole point of this vehicle is to be very utilitarian. It can do pretty much everything at a somewhat nice, good level, and it's not really a luxurious vehicle. And being a 2008, you certainly get a lot more plastics, and being the top of the line, it doesn't feel as nicer as, say, a new 2020 or 21 vehicle is nowadays. But everything is very functional, and it all is very easy to use, and it all still works perfectly like when it was brand new from the lot. So the door panel is there's like lots of space to put I don't know whatever crap. I have sunscreen bottle on the other side. We got some Chick-fil-A straws in there, and there's a nice little cup holder spot to put a drink, and there's a nice little handle. The only thing that is kind of a vinyl that's not on the door, that is not complete plastic, is this somewhat cushy spot as like an armrest or something. The driver has a auto down feature for the window, and then the rest of them are of course all manual. And you get this nice, instead of just plastic door handle and lock, it's like got a little chrome on it, which is nice. And let's jump in the vehicle. Maybe this part of the video y'all can actually hear me, because I'll be inside the cab and there won't be all this stupid wind. That's one thing I certainly need to invest in. I've had this nice tripod for a while, but it's time we upgrade and do another step. And I need to get me a microphone so then y'all can not get ear raped by all the wind. So jumping into the interior, there is pretty much any adjustment for the driver. You can adjust the seat on the bottom for your thighs or whatever, make it lift up higher and lower, but I have it on the lowest setting because I'm tall. Then you have this steering wheel actually will go up and down. It's telescopic, it's manual of course, not power. Then you have the stiffness and the back adjustment. Then of course you have your actual reclining forward and backwards. Then the manual seat to slide it up and back. So there's lots of creature comforts for the driver to be comfortable when they're driving. And this vehicle does have power mirrors. Then you get all these nice little plastic spots to, I don't know, put extra accessory stuff afterwards, or I don't have all the options, I don't know. And this does have the nicer steering wheel. It is leather wrapped and is very comfortable. The only thing I will say with it being its age is it's a little sticky in a few spots, but that's just because, it's had the sun for quite a while. We are not rocking the second gen dash, which is nice. There is no cracks, and I brought my visors over that I had for the truck for this vehicle as well, so this dash will never crack and will always be nice. But beside from that, everything is very usable, and it is all laid out very easily. Anybody could figure it out, but there is so much plastic in here. It's almost completely on all the door panels, on the dash. Oh, I thought there's a golf cart coming this way. They're gonna have to know that are gonna have to turn around. But there's just plastic everywhere. But I mean, it is what it is. It's all right. But let's move over to the middle of the dash in the interior now. Moving over to the center where all your controls are, this has the better upgraded head unit that, like I said, has actually Sirius XM. You have your aux, AM, FM radio, and a 6-slot CD changer, so 6 different CDs. And it has the better Rockford Fosgate speakers. It is a 9-speaker setup with a 300-watt sub under my driver's seat. Then moving down, you have your fun hazards, and then you have your little airbag light, and it's you got these big old knobs for the climate control, and that's all very self-explanatory. Then VDC, it's Nissan's whatever, it's their traction control, so that allows me to turn on and off the traction control. Then I have my aux in spot and another 12 volts. Then this being the 5-speed automatic transmission, that the 4-liter, you could either get a 6-speed manual or the 5-speed automatic, which the 5-speed automatic is fine. It certainly doesn't feel super old, but it certainly, you can tell its age because it does feel, I mean, it drives and shifts nice, but it certainly feels a little old and outdated, but it's fine. Park, reverse, neutral drive. You can turn on and off overdrive with this button right here. 3, 2, 1. So I can actually shift through all my gears here if I have overdrive off and start in one. Not that that matters to y'all. But then there's like a little spot, I guess, to put coins and whatever. And then my parking brake. Then this is actually really cool. There's these big cup holders, but what's nice is you can either have this big slot to, I don't know, put a big drink or put something else in there. And you also have this little insert in the cup holder that I actually keep to specifically put soda cans and water bottles. I mean, it still wiggles around a little, but it's way better than this. So that's nice. Then moving over to the center console, that's my only complaint that I will say. I wish the center console was a little bigger. It is actually very nice to have your arm on. And there's another 12 volt in here, and I have it to where you can charge your phones for the driver and passenger. Then I have a little bit of odds and ends in there. Then there's spots to put your coins and all that good stuff. And then I don't have my keys, they're in my pocket, but there is a compass right there, which is cool. And then moving to the top, this vehicle does not have a sunroof because you have the roof rack. I don't think any of them had a sunroof. This little light glows when your phone is connected to the head unit. Then sunglasses, yay. And let's move to the back to see how your passengers are riding. So moving over to the back, this will be a good demonstration of putting back up the seat. So I hold this seat belt back a little bit so it doesn't get caught behind the backrest when I move it back up. It's really easy. You just pull this, it goes back up, listen for the click, then now the seat belt's where it needs to be. Then I just pick up the spot for the passenger to click their seat belt in, and I pull the seat down, and then you're good to go. The seat's already back up. It's that easy. And don't mind the few water bottles. I just keep those in the car for when we're dehydrated. And there is no, oh yes, there is handles, my bad. So there is a handle for each side for a passenger to get in. So I am 6'3", and this seat is all the way back for me to be super comfortable and stretch out in the front. And so if I have my knees like this, of course it's wedged in the seat a little bit, but it is super comfortable if I just spread my legs out a little bit. And it's very impressive, the amount of leg room in this vehicle, even the second row. And there's plenty headroom. And let me bring y'all in. All right, so I'm a passenger getting in the back of this Xterra. It's a little funny because of how short the wheelbase is. Speaking of the wheelbase, it is 106 inches. So it's not too terribly big, but due to that, the wheelbase, it kind of comes in here to where the back door is a little weird, but it's fine. It's still easy to get in. So there is, of course, another handle to grab onto, little window. And like I said, having the Rockford Fosgate sound system, that sounds great. You have your door, speaker, and your tweeter. It's pretty nice. Got that chrome again. Then I'm not going to sit down because y'all already saw me. But there is in the center console in the back, there is a spot for the cup holders. Then just on the roof, there's just, your lights. And not on that side, but just on this side, there's a spot to put whatever in the back of the seat. So that's pretty much going to do for the interior. Let's jump under the hood. This simple but tried and true design engine, this is in my Xterra. It is a 4-liter V6 with 261 horsepower and 281 foot-pounds of torque. It is hooked up, like I said, to a 5-speed automatic transmission with overdrive. You can also get a 6-speed manual. This is a dual overhead cam designed engine. It's very low mileage. I bought this vehicle with 60,000 miles on it, and it has 67,000 and a little bit of change. And I've just done an oil change on it, and we're getting close to a second oil change here soon. And no mechanical issues. It drives just fine. Being a 2-wheel drive, it has a little bit of rake to the front, not much. That's one other thing I forgot to say. Being a 2-wheel drive, it has 8.3 inches of ground clearance, and the four-wheel drive had 9 point something, so it's like an inch difference. That doesn't matter, but it does have a little bit of a rake, not very noticeable, but that helps with the mileage. And like I said, being two-wheel drive, it gets 16 in the city and 20 in the highway with a combined MPG of 17. But I've done some calculations, and I guess the EPA, I don't know how they were rating it. I don't trust it, because I've done some calculations at the pump, and this car gets 21, 22 on the highway if I just have the cruise set at like 70. So that's gonna do it for the power plant, and I walked around the exterior with y'all and showed y'all the interior. Let's take this baby on for a drive. Okay, it's gonna be a short little test drive, but we're in some little twisty turns right now on a little back road. I mean, we're going about 40 miles an hour right now around some pretty sharp turns. This Nissan takes it pretty well. I mean, like I said, it's on a truck chassis and it's an SUV, so it's pretty boxy and top heavy. But I mean, it doesn't handle like a sports car, but it certainly drives just fine. And I'll see y'all in a second when we all merge onto a major road. Okay, so merging onto the major road. There's no cars coming. I'll give it some gas, but not a whole lot. It accelerates real nice. Fourth. And then overdrive. Yep. And I mean, we're on a very rough road right now, so I know it may sound like it's loud, but this car, the road noise is pretty phenomenal. Like, you don't hear much. This is just a pretty rough road. But I mean, it's an 08, and you know, there hasn't been much done to the front end. It's independent front suspension, of course, so it actually rides pretty nice. But you know, it needs a little bit of alignment. It pulls a hair bit to the right, nothing crazy though. But I mean, this is all the factory OEM shocks and struts and all the other front end components, and it still rides pretty nice, no complaints whatsoever. And I'll get into it real quick, but it has plenty of passing power. As you can see, there's 80 real quick, and you know, she'll gulp on the gas when you really get on her. But like I said, 67,000 miles and some change, 67,501 miles. Then there's lots of different little modes I can go through on my little tiny screen down there that will give me there's trip A, trip B, there's destination till empty. It's not fuel mileage, it's destination till empty, and that's what I normally keep it on. Then there's of course MPG. And so that's pretty much gonna wrap up the video, guys. If you liked it, I'd like to hear some feedback if you have something to say about it. I know one big thing, there's horrible wind noise in it, and I can already tell before I'm going to edit it. But it was a quick little review, guys, and I hope y'all liked it, and I hope this changes your opinion on a Nissan Xterra. And y'all have a good rest of your day. Adios.